let's recap what happened. We finished off the last mission in the last stream, and we've done a not awful part of this one. Oh god, yeah. One of the things I had to do was essentially reset some of these files before I got to get the frame rate sorted. So I need to just sort out some of these settings again. I'm terribly sorry. Confirm end of term, autosave, map destination highlight. Don't really know what that means, but that's fine. Allow battles in path when moving the party. Yes, you can do that. You can always hold down control to stop that. Don't need to inverse. I think that's more or less it. That'll do. Great. Okay. Sorry about that. I forgot that reset all those settings. Oh, I did. This is true, mine. There was very much a cliffhanger, or claffhanger, I was about to say. As we need to... I don't think we need to, but it's probably in our best interest just to take the city of Redstone. Guarded by the mighty Hrolf.
Don't make an old man stand around in this way.
The fact that we have these two wardens on the back row opens up a lot more options to us, essentially, because we just didn't have enough firepower to take down the enemy backline because we're up against dwarves, of course. So, I think this is fairly easily dealt with, but maybe we should take this city first. Or maybe not. Can we at least fight something? Do we really want to go up against a veteran? I think we're in a fairly good position to take down some of these dwarves now. Right, we don't have enough movement points, so I might as well try and attack something. Let's go for this guy first of all.
If I must.
Alright, that's sounds promising, at least, Nibble, that it's at least trying to, and it's not like a placebo effect. You're clicking the connect button, it's just saying, yeah, that's fine, working on it. So, based on past experiences, the crossbowmen and veterans should both go for Slut Summoner, so let's see if we can get rid of Witterick. He's blistered. Can I remember what blistered does? I don't know. But let's double check. Is it just a damage over time thing? Is it just a fancy word for poison? That's the question. Who knows? We may never know because he's dead now. So, that's that. I don't think summoning in any sluts is going to be an advantage as far as I think it's probably best we just get Slut Summoner to defend. And we get this damage reduced. Yeah. Remember your advice with new made friends? Oh, I do, yeah, that's right. Blister is with poison but with fire. Oh, that is a good point. So people who would normally be immune to poison are not obviously immune to blister. That is a good point, yeah. And the same with frostbite, presumably as well. I think I'm thinking of that Pokemon mechanic. Is it when they're burned and it also reduces their attack? That would be pretty sweet. Probably be a bit overpowered though. Right, the rest should be fairly straightforward. I'm going to focus down the veteran because it's probably quicker that we do that. The damage that he's taking is someone else is taking, should I say, is fairly inconsequential because we can just quite easily heal through that, especially if he's just going to miss as well. I always look at the Wardens and think that it's a kind of elf version of Mick Hucknall of Simply Red, in case you'd like to Google that and enjoy the comparisons there. Just look at them there. So you can always do that and draw that comparison. It's great fun. It's how I pass the time on the lonely nights. Highest level demon uses blister. Highest level demon? Overlord, does he? Was this something that was added with Rise of the Elves? Presumably. He only shows up after getting a massive experience done from the final boss. That's more or less it. As with a lot of the final tier demon upgrades.
We've been waiting.
We've been waiting a very long time, haven't you? You can tell. I'm not going to attack with these guys because it would be a waste of experience. I want all the experience to be gobbled up by this hungry slut. So we'll end our turn there for now. I figured so, Nibble. Yeah. Am I right in thinking he gets an initiative boost as well? I remember someone on the YouTube videos commented saying that he gets an initiative boost from 40 to 50, maybe. The Elven Saga aiming to have you as the player to have any unit. This is like all factions, or any unit from a particular faction. Okie dokie. If memory serves, did someone say that the Flamecasters have a ward against fire damage? If that's the case, then that's going to be a little bit of a pain. Also, do our wardens get a ward? Yeah, they're warded against fire, so, you know, swings and roundabouts, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. I think we can do this. The extra armour from these guys is going to be annoying, but I think we've just got to try and get through this fire ward to begin with. Thankfully all these guys should have fairly low initiative. Slut Summoner does outspeed them, so he should hopefully be able to get something summoned in before any of these guys attack. There we go, so we can block the attack from the veteran at the very least. Okay, that's fine. That should be the only damage that our Grove Maiden will sustain. So I think it's alright just to heal up Slut Summoner. Okay, should be the end of you. Blister does, I believe, 15 damage, so yeah, there we go, that's the end of this guy. He'll die because of the blister. Sounds a bit strange saying that, but it's true. These guys do more or less the same damage, but this guy has less HP, so let's see if we can get rid of him. He's taking an attack first. It's cheeky. Oh, he's taking an attack first as well. It's even cheekier. And him. Everyone's taking an attack first before Slut Summoner, which defies the laws of probability, but then again so does Disciples. Puts us in a slightly tricky position. So I think we should... How much damage do these guys do? 60. Right, I think that should be fine. So we have to summon in a tree, block the attack from the veteran. This guy's going to die because of the blister. Then we've got to heal Slut Summoner. So he can withstand an attack from one of these guys, but not both of them. But we should be able to kill this guy now. If it wasn't for the armour. Always forget about the armour. Oh, the tree can move. Take a turn. There we go then. It was all as I planned, you see. There we go. Justice is served. Dwarves have the highest skill cap in the game with all of their wards. What do you mean by skill cap? Oh, thanks for the link, Clyde. I'll take a look at that. Sorry if I get a bit distracted and don't look at the chat. Sometimes I get a little bit too involved in these battles, admittedly. So this battle has the potential for some cheesing in terms of getting a full heal on these two guys. And you know me, I love a bit of cheese. Join the club, Nibble. That's what I do most of the time, and it's gotten me this far in life. Okay, I think we're good. Not much point in getting to defend, as well as summon something else in. Depending on how long it takes to kill this guy, we might just be able to get fully healed anyway, so maybe no cheese is required. Love the Dwarven spellbook. If memory serves, they've got some good summons, and they've got some very cheap movement boosting spells. If memory serves, which I like that about the dwarves. So although the dwarves have some very big shortcomings in terms of their speed and their reduced mobility on the overhead map, they've got the spells to back that up, and I quite like that. So by just looking at the Dwarven army and race as a whole, you might be able, you'd be forgiven just for writing them off because they're so slow and things. But they've got the spells to back them up and make up for those things. 155 experience, I'll have that, it's no problem. I always forget that I have potions in inventory. I normally forget that I have potions during battle, but it's not very often I forget them. I have them in inventory. I always forget to re-equip items if your leader dies, but the party still survives, and you've got to revive the leader. But they drop all the items. And there's quite a few cases I've gone into battle and wondering why they're missing out on armor and hit percentage, and it's because I've not re-equipped everything. Anyway, so no dialogue from Bargabine? Not exactly a traditional Dwarven name, but Valentine is already aware of your arrival. I have amassed troops to thwart you. Oh, we know all of your ability to thwart enemy plans. Your past victories have certainly demonstrated your abilities. I'd prefer having my ears ripped off than suffer through your wit. Stick to your bows. Ho ho! Shit's getting real. As you wish, shoot him. We have found several documents written in a dwarf dialect, unknown to us. I do not know if any one of us can read them. We shall keep them here until you find a means to read them. Thanks, love. Well, where are they? It's bullshit. I thought they were going to have some Dwarven scrolls or something. Oh, Lascelles. Never mind. Oh, that's fine, Clyde. If I was you, I would mute me as well. You don't need an excuse. Sir Clyde, the best be you did. Wow. Right, next victim I think is looking like these guys. We can block the warrior with a summon. Crossbowman will go for Slut Summoner so he can take that damage from these two. It's probably best we get rid of the Flamecaster quite quickly. Again. Did it say documents written in their dialects? Did it? I'm gonna have to double check that. That's quite amusing. Can you imagine something written with a Geordie dialect? Christ, that would be undecipherable. Oh, Slut Summoner is just sass personified. Sassiest of all the elves. Oh, that was a rather good round, actually. Everyone's going for Slut Summoner. Excellent, he can take it. Right, Flamecaster is down. Probably get rid of the crossbow minis. Fairly easy to take down. Advice to leave the units that your friends have. It's a fair comment. To get a proper garrison going in that's in the city that we've just taken, it's possible. It does mean spending a lot of gold in terms of upgrading the city, but it might pay dividends. Right, we need to get rid of this guy. Focus. I'm going with the air ward healer or the fire ward healer. Trying to think. I guess it would make more sense to go with air ward because we have two guys which already start with a fire ward. And are we up against the Empire in this one? I don't think we are actually, so I guess that's an argument against getting an air ward healer. I think just I get the feeling a fire ward one would be a little bit of a waste, just with us already having two fire warded enemies, allies, should I say. No, he looks like Mick Hucknall, that doesn't necessarily make him an enemy. We shall see though. In terms of the enemies doing fire damage, what have we got? I mean, we're up against the demons, so yes, they do have all of their casters do fire damage, but most of them. So that's, I guess, a cause for concern. Right, I think that's you done. Let's just get these guys waiting outside. Feels like the game is slower. I wonder if the game is so slower because it's not running at 5 million frames per second anymore. Did it say Dwarven dialect? It did, Dwarven dialect. Dwarf dialect. There you go. Let's just double check something. We do have these talismans to sell, so we could potentially do that. Up against the Undead Legion and the Mountain Clan. Well, Undead, the only... Let's look at this logically. Undead, we've got to worry about the Mage Leader, she does fire damage, that's it. Legion, all of the casters do fire damage, and the Mage Leader. Mountain Clan, the Mage Leader does earth damage, but they've got Storm Giants and Elder ones which do air damage, but they've also got Flame Casters. So it's fairly split down the middle, I would say. Besides needing a fire ward over an air ward, why would anyone take the Sun Dancer? I don't know, Beryl. Let's have a quick look now that you've brought it up. I was going to look at this anyway just to make sure we're aiming for it. Yeah, 1500 gold. So from the Grove Maiden, who bestows all elemental wards but on one unit, we can go for the Firegrounds, which gives us the Sun Dancer, which is a marvellous healer. Talk about blowing your own trumpet. She can walk through fire and, if she desires, bring another with her. So she heals for 50, so it's exactly the same as the Grove Maiden, but she heals all units and bestows upon them a Fire Ward. 115 HP in comparison to the 85 of the Grove Maiden. Or we can go for the Galleon Zolta, which is a Sylph. And violent winds and storms are nothing to her Sylph. She dismisses them to protect the elf while she heals. And pretty obvious titties going on there, so that's nice. Yeah, it's as you say, there are less HP for the unit individually, but more of a healing action for everyone, and bestows an air ward. I don't know. It's something that we can discuss over the next couple of turns because we have nowhere near enough money. Although we can sell those talismans to get said money. Then we could potentially upgrade the city as well. Let's face it. Anyway, I'm going to end my turn there. We'll see what the enemy lords are up to. For more health, or if you're against fire mages. Yeah, it's very situational in terms of what you go for. Fire ward then because you can not ward against death damage and they have that one fire damage unit. Yeah, that's true. Just a personal point. Hey, wanting a certain aesthetic in your game is not a bad thing. I mean, there's been plenty of times when I used to play World of Warcraft, I would wear the cooler looking armour, I will admit, instead of the armour which had better stats. Although then again, they brought in this whole transmogrification system, just for people like me. Hey, it's Slut Spectre, right, gracing us with an appearance. Biggest criticism with the Elven Heal is I really do like the way they made the Elven Heal is very different to all the other ones. But different to the Empire ones, should I say. There's not that many others. Sylph is better with parties with more armour, especially regarding the low health. Yeah, it's a good point, Nibble. Got decent healers quickly like the Empire. Yeah, I mean, that's why Empire is just face roll easy, isn't it? Hi, Bizik, how are you doing? Good to see you. It's been a while since you've dropped by. Are you alright? Yeah, I'm edging more towards Sylph. Even as you say, they do sound worse. You met with Fenrir Lords once for the sake of trying them out. I think that's the only time one would use Fenrir Lords. To be fair, when you're just seeing what they're like, and then you just know not to use them ever again. Okie dokie. Should we just quickly finish these guys off? I think it's very much within our power to do so. Alright, she's still got quite a lot of experience to go before she levels up, so we can take our time before we sell those talismans at the shop. Let's go over here.
If I must.
I'm not sure if you watched the Legion's playthrough I did on my YouTube channel, but I thought I'll go a bit mental on the last mission and used I forgot what they're called again. A fiend, that's right. Oh, what is it with everyone going first? Fine. And I was pleasantly surprised with how well the fiend did. It might have been because it was on the final mission and he just got absolutely shitloads of experience and was leveling up every second fight. By the end, I was leveling the fiend at the same time as leveling up I think it might have been an overlord or an abyssal devil, and he was, he was consistently matching the damage that the abyssal devil or the unevolved versions were doing. So that was quite fun to watch. Also, the fact that he was just leveling up every second mission just meant that he just constantly was getting healed. So that was the Legion's answer to not having a healer. Just get a unit which just needs bugger all XP to level up, and then you don't need to worry about healing. That's okay, Bizzy. Much obliged to stop by. It's always a pleasure to have you, though. Oh, I'm interested to see this. Bizik's take on Mine's custom map. Yeah, his poison was terrible. Nibble. Even by the end. See, the crazy thing is that his poison, I think, I think it starts off with a 40% chance to hit, and then I think it goes up by 1% each time. But the damage from the poison just was phenomenally high by the end. It was something silly, like in the realms of 50, 60, 70 HP every single turn. So when it did actually activate, it did absolutely tons of damage every single turn, which was great fun. Another 101 XP. That weapon master perk that we got for Slut Summoner is paying off very well, I think. Anyone remember what was in this? Origus? It's a stupid name for whatever it is. So we're going to pop Gientel, because despite the fact that he only has 2 units, he has room for a lot more. So I'm going to pop the Channeler in the back, and the Centaur, what's his face, in the front, and outfit him with some units. Fine, let's upgrade that. So we want Centaur Lancer. I kind of want to give him the Griffin just for the lols, just so you can see the Griffin in action, but I don't know. It's a bit of a waste of money. I'm going to have 2 scouts. Oh, solid, I'm going to have 3 scouts. Is that a bit crazy? Fine, I'll give him a healer. Swap him out with the 3rd scout. Good, good, good.
Let's get this over with.
Difficulty is good, and the unit placement is very interesting as well. Is that all you're saying? Of course, no spumblers. 40% chance to poison with the fiend. Yeah, it does go up by 1% every time though. Every time he levels up, which is very often. I think he only needs something silly like 475 XP. Excuse me, to level up. So it doesn't take long for his damage to really start running away with it. Damage from the primary attack and secondary attack always scales at the same rate. Yeah, that does sound familiar now that you mention it. Goblin Elder in the ruins. I can't remember. Oh, I think you're probably right with the Goblin Elder. And there's one party which is like, what the fuck do I do? Well, that's just disciples all over though, isn't it? There's always one party where you just think, oh, what the hell. Normally it's the enemy lord's main party, and they just come along and then you just say, it's just a massive retreat. Oh, that's a bit sad. Alright, there we go. That's fairly simple. That one. I'm definitely seeing a difference in terms of the way this game feels now that it's not running at infinity frames per second. I'm just hope it's solved the audio synchronization problems. I mean, I've been streaming for about 40 minutes now. How is the audio in terms of the synchronization? Is it still looking all right? Not feeling when they don't cap how many Unity party you can have. I thoroughly intend to, Bizik. I'm intending on doing it. Intend to do it on stream. completely blind. Well, not blindfolded or anything like that. So at least you can see my reactions to the no doubt trollery which mine has put in the mission. All right, thanks a lot, Devil. Is he too OP? I wanted that unit to be the key to progressing. Fair enough. I'm looking forward to playing it. I don't think I've actually played a fully custom map of Disciples. I did see the designs of the Highfather custom saga that someone did, posted on the Calypso forums. Let's have a think. He's warded against fire, so we're going to take a hit from the Goblin Elder. I think it's probably a case that we just get Slut Summoner to defend throughout all of this. That's a lot of damage. It's a shame the Ogre is placed in the middle, because then we can't just summon in a Slut to take the damage from the Ogre. Let's see. First things first, let's get rid of this Goblin Elder as soon as we can. Yeah, you're going to have to defend. Alright, it's not a horrible amount of damage. Keep Summoner healed. That should be the only damage that the Grove Maiden sustains in this battle, because we can now remove the Elder. Okay. And let me play the map on stream with the catch of you not telling me what to do. I wouldn't have it any other way, mine. Absolutely. And you can just bask in my bewilderment. Yeah, let's get rid of this Ogre. If we get rid of the Ogre, then we might be able to just heal everyone up back to maximum health, hopefully. What you didn't like about it is that each map had no units in the capital when you start. This is Designs of the Highfather, is it? So I've not actually played it yet. I was intending to. I was actually going to play it on stream, actually, if I ran out of other ideas. But yeah, I'm all up for a bit of custom map design. I do quite like the idea of not having a capital guard. Is that what you mean? There was no capital guardian when you say that no units, the map had no units in the capital. This meaning that you actually had to create your own defense for the capital. I'm taking that club like a boss. So there's only for an old man he can take a good beating. Oh, mine's custom pressed. Alright, I see. Yeah, we can some of that in there. Alright, I see what you mean. Yeah, that does suck a little bit. Kind of just delays the inevitable, really, because I mean, you're going to get a decent party anyway, but it's just delaying it because you don't start off with enough gold anyway. As for us, we've just got 100 gold. And an Orc Talisman. That should sell for a pretty penny. In fact, let's do that now. Orc Talisman, 600 gold coins. Yes, please, get in my bank account. Talisman of Earth is worth 400. Lizardman is worth 600. I don't want to go too overboard with the selling because I want to have, maybe, if we don't need it, bring the Lizardman Talisman with us to the next mission, then we can sell that early on for some gildage. We'll see though. I'm going to sell the Talisman of Earth though for now, just gives a little bit of extra cash. Next project is the Mountain Cleanse. You're doing it just because that's my least favourite. How many uses did we find the talismans had? Your guess is as good as mine. I don't think I've been able to find anywhere on the internet which you know, says for certain how many uses a talisman has. Okay, we've still got to wait until the next turn before we can build the final upgrade structure for our healers, so let's end our turn. I mean, when I was using a talisman, that was when I was we were playing the Undead. I think we were using it on the final mission, weren't we? And I remember it was, yeah, it's as mine said, it was 3 to 5 uses essentially, and then it just disappeared. I'd have liked to have some sort of heads up. I mean, I appreciate that some things are kept a secret, so it doesn't expressly tell you how many uses are left, but the fact that it just disappeared is a little bit of a bummer, because I think we went into the next battle and then I was like, oh, let's use the talisman, and then it just completely disappeared. It wasn't there. Well, no, thank you very much. Right then, Galleon's Altar it is, I think. Gives us a bit more value for money. There it is, some sort of floating shrine statue on a branch on a tree. Sounds legit.
I am here.
Dwarf Leader has some leveled up units.
Yeah.
That he does. Right, he's got a Centaur Strider, that's about it. The Oracle is actually Milu, presumably. I'm assuming we can't move her out of the party because she's supposed to be the Oracle. I would have thought so, Nibble. I think the only reason I was using a talisman is because I needed some extra use out of Slut Spectre at the end of the Undead Saga. What begin the unhaunted halls? The unhaunted halls, that's what I said, yes, unhaunted halls. It's about to be unhaunted once we've got in there. Let's have a look. No prices for guessing who's going to be in here. Yeah, it's a load of undead. Now this is interesting. Can we kill the shade? The sentries do 2 lots of 60 damage, that's 120, plus hopefully a blister effect that would kill her, but it is relying on the blister. Rightio, mate. I'll wait until we've got some more money, then I'll level it up and stick the Centaur Strider in there, I think. What are the chances for the blister? 70%. I think we've prevailed with less odds. Let's give it a try. Desperately need to get rid of this shade at all costs. Oh, she's blistered. Oh, that's a shame. Poor her. Well, now she is dead again. So someone's going to take all this damage, plus some damage from this guy, from the Warlock. I'm slightly tempted just to get him to defend, because summoning in a tree is only going to block damage from the fighter, and he doesn't do a lot of damage anyway, so I think I'll just get him to defend. It's defending against the damage from the Dark Lord, which is the main thing. Which is going to be a pain, now that I think about it, because he's got a fire ward. Okay, Warlock should be fairly easily dispatched. Maybe go for this fighter, because if we hit him and then the blister takes effect, the blister should finish him off in 2 turns. Presumably, well, hoping that the blister just doesn't run out. No, this guy's still blistered, so he's dead in the next turn. Splendido. I hate having to use an attack against someone knowing that it's going to be warded. Fighter on the bottom. He's dead. You not see him die because of the blisters. Death by blister. Not the nicest way to go. Dark Lord, 120 HP, so let's summon in a tree, and then we block the fighter's attack, and then we can get this guy killed. I'm clinging on to the hope that because of this stream, some people are actually going to have a multiplayer match on Disciples. That would warm my cold, dead heart to no end. Knowing that this stream has brought together some people to have a good old matchup on Disciples. You've got to tell me if you get it going, Nibble and Busy. That would be marvellous. Yeah, you heal yourself. Might do a little bit of cheesing, just so I can get the sentries healed. I mean, everyone loves a bit of cheese. I'm allowed to do a little bit of cheesing, aren't I? I'll do that so he's blistered, so we're on a bit of a time limit now. Let's get you to defend, and I'll at least heal the sentries, because they are a little bit flimsy still. There we go. So it's just Slot Summoner, missing about 15 HP. That's more than acceptable. 106 XP. We could really do with a decent artifact. Is it going to give us one though? 200 gold and Skeleton Champion Orb. Yeah, it's a perfectly nice orb, I'll say that much, but it's not the kind of thing we're looking for. Which is sad. Anyway, we still need a little bit more gold in order to level up the city, so we'll probably do that in the next couple of turns. Hello, Danks. How are you? Good to see you. Are you well? I'll say something. The enemy turns are taking a lot longer in this now that I've throttled the speed, the frame rate. I do remember when I first started playing this, going from Galleon's Return to Rise of the Elves. Well, I should bloody well think so. You go after the capsule like that, and you're bound to get your thief killed. Anyway, I remember when I first started playing this on stream, and I was just amazed at how quickly the enemy turns went. Wow, it's like a couple of seconds, whereas normally in Galleon's Return, you're talking at least about a minute for the enemy turns to play out. I thought, wow, they must have just really sped up the AI and really, optimized it. But it wasn't. It's because it was running at about 3,000 frames per second. Oops. Never mind.
Don't make an old man mind stand around in this weather.
I'll bloody well make you stand around whatever weather I like. Question is, are we going to be able to do this? I really don't know. Has the Mountain Clan been spamming thieves the whole time? As far as I'm aware, that's the only clan's unit they've sent towards us. I mean, they've got these units here, but they seem to be sentry units. I could be wrong, but the only unit they've sent down is the thief, just the one. That's literally it. Anywho, I might give the spiders a wide berth for now. Again, I'm a little bit hesitant of actually doing exploration with slot summoners, so we'll try and take it easy. By galleon, this corpse is fresh. Wow, I've heard that before. But they ripped sections of the flesh off him and took his bowels out. I do not remember hearing of the undead treating their victims this way. It almost seems as if they collected those parts. What? It's a skeleton. It's clearly an impaled skeleton because the little tooltip tells us. What do we have here? Oh, it's Imperial Assassins, of course it is. Although just one of them. Who's he likely to go for? I think he might go for the Grove Maiden. Put the centaur up.
Don't make an old man stand around in this weather.
Move summoners to the top so we can block the paralysis. I mean, you can block the paralysis, but he'd be taking all of the damage from the black spider each turn until we kill it. I don't suppose it would take that long to actually take down the black spider. Maybe 3 turns?
Don't make an old man stand
Do you mean this centaur at the bottom? Dank. You mean move this guy up? Alright, we've established that there's no centaur. For the sake of argument, there is no centaur in Slot Summoner's army. I think you've convinced me on that one. We can give this a try. So Slot Summoner will take damage from the Black Spider. That's reduced by 40% still. He will get poisoned. It's just dependent on whether he can withstand probably about 3 attacks. Do you think it's likely? Does the Grove Maiden give Death Ward? No, it's the full wards. Let me just double check. Bestow elemental wards. There you go. Grove Maidens perform sacred rituals to grant protection against earth, air, fire and water to an ally in need. Now that would be good if they had an offshoot and it bestowed weapon wards on all of your units. That would be mental. And then you just keep on refreshing it each turn. I don't know if we can do this. I'm trying to remember how much damage the giant black spider does. That in combination with the poison may be a bit too much.
Don't make an old man stand around in this weather.
I'm gonna go after these guys instead. Yeah, they do a lot of poison damage. We can't get Slot Summoners to defend because he will be summoning in trees to block the damage from the giant spider. I like the thought of a weapon ward bestowing healer. I think that would be really good. I think with that one though, you'd have to just have a one target healer, but bestows the weapon ward as well. That would be mental.
Don't make an old man stand around in this weather.
I'm going to go after these guys instead.
If I must.
I think we've got a fairly good shot with them, especially if we can get both of our sentries attacking this Imperial Assassin before he gets to go. That would be delicious. Oh! Possibly. And he's blistered. I'm liking that. I'm assuming they have the same initiative. Oh, they've got 70. It's no wonder they could go. It's no wonder they could go before the Imperial Assassin. Here's me rooting them on, and I didn't even need to. I think I'll just get someone to defend. Basically, the I hate undead mode. Yeah, more or less. Okay, so we can't kill the spearman outright. And if we try to, the matriarch will heal him. She does do cure as well. I think we might just have to try and battle our way through. And she'll heal a proportion for her, but it'll be nowhere near enough, and we'll be able to kill him in the next turn. Oh no, he died because of the blister. Whoops. I'm making all the right decisions this evening. I've played this game before, honestly. Don't talk to me about Defenders of Faith. Quite possibly one of my favourite melee-based units. So good. Yes. Tell me about it, mine. Everything is just so good about them. 125 damage. All damage reduced by a fifth. And then they actually have more initiative than a Imperial Assassin. Craziness. Anywho, this is all wrapped up. I should get some decent experience from these two units on the back line. Fairly advanced units. 116, that will do. Seem to be getting roughly around about 100 experience each battle. Sade Fortress. That sounds vaguely familiar, that. I'm probably making it up. Hockey dokie. Guess I should start bringing this guy further up, away from the city. Because according to mine, shit's gonna get real down here. Otherwise he wouldn't ask me to put some fairly advanced units in there, so we'll see.
I am here.
Still need one more turn before we've got enough money to upgrade this city though. Defender of Faith if Gandalf ever became a wizard. More or less, yeah. I'm pretty sure Gandalf dual wields at certain points in Lord of the Rings as well. Absolutely dank. The only saving grace is if you're undead and you've got something like Rot, the Rot spell, just to remove their armour, but even then they're awful, really awful, with that initiative. It's not pleasant. But presumably, if you're up against Defenders of Faith, then I'd like to think that you have some fairly good units to go up against them. Like a front row of deaths. That would do the trick quite nicely. Hi Piotr, how are you doing? Good to see you. I recommend giving those first level troops to the dwarf. What, the Channeler and the other Centaur Strider? Gandalf does actually dual. I thought so. Yeah, he dual wields a staff and a sword, doesn't he? I'm pretty sure. So you're saying put the the channeler in the Dwarven army? Hold on a second. Can we just swap the Oracle out? That doesn't make any sense. I thought he was supposed to be guarding the Oracle. Alright. I thought the whole reason that this guy was the quest objective with the ring around his feet was because he had an oracle in his party, which was the Oracle Milu. It seems to be not the case. Alright, everyone hates us, so we're not going to piss anyone off by attacking this guy, so we might as well do that. Okay. There you go for that. A little bit of hot dwarf action. Getting ready for the next campaign when we do the dwarves. I'm very well, thank you, Piotr. How's your evening going? There's absolutely no point in leveling up 3 deaths if you're not going to stick them on the front row, Dank. Everyone knows that. It's one of the first things you do. It's like Undead Disciples 101. Just the dwarf has to live. Fair enough. Like Gientel has to live as well, doesn't he? That was in the quest objective thingy.
Let's get this over with.
I think I'm probably going to have to kill Slot Spectre again.
If I must.
I'm going to have to go the journey. See you later. Wow, that sounds like a fun day, Piotr. And now you've got this fantastic stream to look forward to. Hopefully this gives you the sleep you so sorely need. Or sends you to sleep, either way. Really not bothered about thugs. That's not worth the hassle. Who's this? Load of wolves? Yeah, I'll do a bit of wolf bashing. I don't discriminate.
If I must.
We can't kill this one, but it's probably the first one that we should get rid of. That should be all the damage that we're going to take in this battle. First thing's that strategy when you get attacked by Son of Emir. Yeah, that's true. There is a surprising lack of melee attackers which actually do elemental based damage, now that you mention it. I think all of the melee based attackers do weapon based, apart from the likes of Son of Emir. At least I can't think of any of this. I do remember when I didn't just do that. When I was doing the YouTube videos, and I can't remember who suggested it. It might be the likes of mine or Bizik, can't remember. Suggested a warrior which kind of imbued his blades or weapons with certain, like an oil or an enchantment, which actually meant that it did elemental based damage, which sounded really cool. Because then you've actually got a viable source of elemental damage coming from a melee attacker on the front line, which sounded great fun. You know I'm dirty by now, is it? That's no surprise at all. Bashing the wolves. Is this going to become a thing? Is it? Am I going to be labelled as a wolf basher? I wear it like a badge of honour. That's fine. That's true. All the giants do that. I don't know why I casted that on the tree. I'm getting a bit distracted by chat. I do apologise. Yes, there is a fairy confirmed. With this amount of hair, maybe not. I don't have the required amount of fur already, sadly. The giants. Well, I think mine's pretty much summed it up for me. First does earth, second does earth. Yeah. And then you can go down ice giant and son of Emir to do ice water damage. I don't get to answer any questions now in chat. If anyone asks a disciples-based technical question, mine's always beaten me to it, which is fine. I appreciate the help, mine. Don't worry. It just makes me sound stupid because I'm so slow, and it makes it just look like I'm reading your answer, which, to be fair, is what I do most of the time because I know you're the authority on anything disciples. I'm a true hentai. Thank you. I take it as a compliment. So yeah, I was very impressed with some of the suggestions, and oh, that was a bit sad. Some of the suggestions for new mechanics and just different ideas. So I was always asking questions during the YouTube videos, just to fill in the time when the enemy lords were taking their turn, and I got some very good suggestions from some viewers in terms of what they would add to disciples to make it a bit better or a bit more interesting. I had a very good discussion going in terms of additional races. If you wish to introduce your own race in disciples. I don't think I'm good enough to be a general, mine. You're the true brains behind it. I just rush in. You recommend leveling up the city? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we've got enough money. Thank you, mine. Case in point.
Don't stand around in this weather.
If you love hentai, then you definitely want to, I think, drop Clyde a follow on Twitter. He's always tweeting a bit of filth. You'll enjoy that. Drop the second level units for use for later. Drop the second level units for use for later. Do you mean put the second level? Put these units in the city? Am I right in thinking? Drop the second level units for use for later. So maybe put him in there. Actually, I should probably recruit a new one. Well, I think he does PR out. I'm by no means a hentai connoisseur, but it's I'm not getting into this conversation. I'm not getting into this conversation on stream. Let's not divulge from the pure tactical hotness which is going on. Can we have one massive bash on disciples? In terms of multiplayer, are you being filthy? Oh, Clyde is much more of a hentai Sama than I am. It's hentai Dono. Oh, Giantel, you had one job. You do 128 damage and you just missed. Christ almighty. Everyone's missing. Oh, no, he's paralysed. Good lord. Is that a rhetorical question, Dank? Is it possible to stop talking about hentai? Anyone else with the GOG version of Rise of the Elves Gold? I think I just have the normal version of Rise of the Elves. I don't think it's specifically gold. I mean, for the sake of what, it's maybe £2 or £3 when it's on offer on GOG. I can pick it up. So we can all have a big bash, as Bizik mentions. You're talking about wolf bashing again. Is this going to become a thing? Let's wander over here. We've not saved for a while, so I might just do this. Let's have a bit of slut cess. There we go.
I am here.
Right, so is this... Do you think this party is okay to start making its way north? I didn't think there was a gold version of Rise of the Elves. Is it Disciples 2 gold? And that includes everything. GOG only has the gold version. Oh, hang on a second. I'm getting confused. Let me just start Galaxy. Mine just says Disciples 2 Rise of the Elves. So presumably it's not the gold version. Drop the right. Let's listen to mine. Drop the leveled up fighters into this place. Drop the leveled up fighters, mages and healer in the city. Right. So this. No, that means we've got shit tons of range damage in this one now. But that's what you're going for, mine, is it? And then this is our first point of defense, presumably when something happens. Okay. Let's go for that. And then this guy can move out, presumably. And you're off my back for now. Thank you. Thank you, my general. Miela, whatever that means. I don't think there's anything else to discover down here, so let's keep Summoner moving. Is that a master thug? If it is, then he can go fuck himself. I'm not fighting a master thug. Ooh. Oh, it's all the barbarians. Why would you put a trapper on the front line? It's a very silly thing to do. Wolf bashing is my thing on stream. Already? I only did it once. Come for the bald heads, to stay for the wolf bashing. It's just called gold. Disciples 2 gold. Yeah, I think I know what you mean. I think I bought mine in 2 separate things. I bought Galleon's Return, then I bought Rise of the Elves, so I'm afraid I don't have Disciples 2 gold. There is a Galleon's Return gold, which includes all expansions and... Oh, it's so confusing! Yeah, trappers are quite tanky, but there's no reason for them to be on the front line when you've got a barbarian chieftain and barbarian warrior. Can we withstand this? I honestly don't know. I don't think we can kill the shaman with our... Sorry, shamanesses. The shamaness. It's not plural. Oh, it looks like we might have to go that way anyway. Might do some more wolf bashing. Because that's a thing now, so that's what I'm known for. Let's do some wolf bashing. You could meet anyone who worked on Disciples. Which person would you like to meet? It's probably a toss-up between. Can I name 3 people? I like the whoever did the music on Sacred Lands, because the music in Sacred Lands was awesome. Whoever did the art on Disciples 2, because the art in Disciples 2 is also awesome. Or the person who did the voiceover for the Elementalist in Disciples 3, because that is my favourite piece of voice acting in terms of pure hilarity. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you will when we play Disciples 3 and we get to hear the Elementalist. Oh, his voice is just, it's unbelievable. Do you think that the art was a collective kind of effort? Also, I don't know if you got it, but when I bought Disciples from GOG, I did get I got like extra features, and a lot of it, there was a lot of artwork in there. There was a lot of concept art, which was really, really good. Super detailed stuff on there, which is fantastic. Well, like I said, I don't discriminate. We've got to have some bear bashing as well. Yeah, meeting the Lord Guide was really good. Oh, and also the narrator for Sacred Lands. Yeah, he would be high on the list. So instead of just meeting one person, can we have a Disciples kind of a Disciples dinner party where we just invite them all over, especially the narrator from Sacred Lands. Oh, he was so good. He was good. The narrator for all of the sagas other than the Elven one in Disciples 2, he was a really good narrator. And then we can invite the narrator from Disciples 3 and then just throw food at him. Get him to sit at the end of the table and then we just throw food at him and insults because he was shit. If you've never played Disciples 3, should you get it? My advice, yes, but don't expect a lot, and make sure you buy it on deal. And get the reincarnation version. Stay clear of Renaissance and Resurrection. Definitely go for reincarnation, because that's the one that they did where they got rid of all the bugs. The Elementalist sounds there like he has a stroke or he's trying to sing. Trying to remember. It's when he gets healed. Oh, it's so funny. Because when you in this game you heal someone and you don't get anything. In Disciples 3, they actually thank the healer, and if you hear the Elementalist, he says something like "rejuvenating power." Oh god, that's awesome. And then the Imperial Assassin sounds like he's being really sarcastic, and he says something like, "Yeah, that helped." Oh, it's so good, the voice acting in that game, but for all the wrong reasons. The art is incredibly good in Disciples 3. The models for the units is astounding. Some of the undead unit models is really, really exceptional. I'm getting a bit overexcited. Yeah, definitely get it on deal. I think you could. I bought Reincarnation on Steam. I already own the other 2 games, but I thought I wanted it on Steam just so I could stream it when the time comes. I think I got it for something like £7.50, maybe even less, maybe about £5. So you can get it fairly cheap. And Reincarnation also includes Resurrection as well, so that will include the extra race. That will include the extra the campaign for the undead. The only downside is and this will always leave me a little bit sad in terms of Disciples 3. No Mountain Clans, sadly. No Mountain Clans campaign, or many of the units. A lot of the units, there's only 1 or 2 units that made it from the Mountain Clans into the actual game, which was super sad. Waiting for Christmas sale on Steam. Yep, that's probably your best time. Oh god, yeah, Witch Hunters in Disciples 3. Yes. They're much more badass than even Inquisitors or the Grand Inquisitors. Yeah.
Don't make an old man stand around in this weather.
Sorry, I'm reminiscing a bit too much here. Who is this, and why they stood there and not moving? You don't know. I feel as if I should get a thief. I feel as if I should build a guild so I can get a thief. Oh. You can't see this on the screen, but I've got a Disciples 2 has stopped working, which is super sad. And this is presumably why it does autosave, because it hits me. Never mind. Let's reload this. I think it's got maybe about a 1.5 hour threshold for this. No, you've had enough. Anywho, let's just pretend that didn't happen. I've reloaded Slutcess. That was the wrong one to load. We need to reload the autosave, of course. Yeah, it was... I don't know why they made that decision. Why they made the original Disciples 3 with only 3 races. It kind of felt like they were doing their own little version of what Blizzard did with StarCraft 2, and it's as if they started in terms of the way they're meant to go on with releasing little expansions, and it's the way everyone's doing it these days. I know they've got to milk it, but the fact that they only released it with 3 races instead of all 5, hell, I would have accepted the original 4 and got rid of the elves, but no, they did that so they could squeeze a bit more money out. And then I believe they had all the intentions of doing another expansion with the clans, but sadly the studio went bankrupt or something like that. It's funny how the Witch Hunters were epic in the first 2 games, then suddenly the Wimpy Inquisitor appears. That's true, actually. That tends to happen in all of them, doesn't it? Even this one, it goes like from some badass sword wielding dude to just some git with a mace. Just look at the faces. It's the Spanish Inquisition. Yeah, more or less. Oh, sorry, Nibble. Disciples just suddenly decided to stop working, as it does. Right. Okay, it's actually letting us do something this time. This is good. We had a small demon invasion down here, in the form of Zarish. Oh, could it be that the demons are going to invade? Is that it? Is this what's going to happen? Is this why mine is saying get these rather sturdy units there? Also, we were going to buy a guild, weren't we? Let's do that. Well, I'll have the opportunity before shit gets real. Let's get this thief out.
You found me.
You go up and no, don't attack the giant spider. How many times do I have to tell you? Favorite race? Yeah, gotta be undead. Maybe a little bit broken, the undead, or maybe it's just because I love them so much. Then again, I always like undead in any game that I play. If you've got a choice of playing the undead, then they're always my favorite race. You don't know your favourite race yet, mate. You've been playing this for how long? Everyone loves the undead.
I had something to do.
Oh, I do apologise.
Waiting.
I am here.
Could potentially be a bit scary going into this blind, not knowing what we're up against there. Can we sneak past? Oh, we can sneak past, so that's a thing. Oh, hello, it's a Dark Elf Butcher. Interesting, that's a lot of... not scary units on the back line, but we'd have to kill the Spectre fairly quickly. Which means that we'd get a fair bit of damage from the Necromancer and Warlock. You could kill the Warlock in one turn. That's based on the blister actually taking effect.
Don't make an old
That
man
might be a bit
stand
tricky,
around
that
in
one,
this
actually.
weather.
200 hours. Yeah, that sounds about right. I like corpses. Yeah. You don't get any backchat with corpses. No insubordination, they just follow orders. Dark Elf is a trigger. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna kill this
If
Undead
I
Hordes
must.
one. See what he's got. Oh, is that it? To think I was worried. We could kill the fighter instantly with our wardens, but doesn't do a lot of damage. Oh, let's do it anyway. Reduces the damage going to Slot Summoner anyway. All up for that. I support Necrophilia. Normally my saying is if you're not hurting anyone, then I'm not really bothered what you get up to. But I don't know. I think Necrophilia is crossing a line somewhere. Well, there you go. That's from the horse's mouth there. Something about that cold, clammy feeling that makes you come back. I have nothing else to add, really. What happened there? Did he just use a life potion? A restoration potion on the Wyvern? If he did, that's very sneaky. Okay, he's going to get another shot off. Slight problem. On the other hand, this battle is potentially cheesable because we could or should be left with this guy, who we can just keep alive while we heal our guys. So there might be a small amount of cheese. I'm warning you now. Zombies might not take too good. But zombies presumably have a degree of their own free will, I guess, kind of. So it would be classed as zombie rape, maybe. I don't think I'm quite prepared to go into the ethical connotations of having sex with a zombie on stream, if that's quite alright. You're welcome to discuss it in chat. That's absolutely fine. I just don't think I'm prepared mentally in order to fully grasp that subject. My tattoo says "Disciples for life." Of course it does. Never as cheesy as an Archangel in Squire versus Bella. Well, to be fair, you shouldn't. If you have a Bella, you shouldn't really be summoning it to go up against an Archangel and Squire anyway. Let's face it, because that's just asking for it. everyone should know better than to summon in a Beliarch in order to attack that kind of army. At least that's what I'm going with. Scumbag healing, yeah, you know it. You love it. There's only one thing less than scumbag healing, and that's wolf bashing. And then scumbag healing. So we've got one of two possible fights. It's going to be a lot of damage coming from there. I can't quite remember what the initiative of these guys are. I've got a feeling it's 40, in which case we can block the damage from the barbarian warrior at least. I think this one's going to be much easier to handle though.
Don't make an old man stand around in this weather.
All depends on who the Spectre goes for. I'm assuming Summoner. It is 40. Okay. I still think it's a bit too much damage from those guys. I hope the Councillor isn't going to attack the city. Surely it won't be that powerful, will it? I mean, whoever attacked this party was repelled.
Don't make an old man stand around in this weather.
Rather effectively. That's just a thief. Warrior is a reskinned veteran. Chieftain is a venerable warrior. Oh, these guys. Barbarian warrior is a reskinned veteran. 80 damage, I think, don't they do? Chieftain does 100. Do they have the same HP as well, Doug? I hadn't really looked at it that way. Right, I'm just going to go for this one. To hell with it.
If I must.
I think it might be potentially cheesable. Let's look at this logically. So we can kill the Warlock or we can kill the Necromancer. We can't kill both. So I say let's kill the Necromancer, take the damage from the Warlock, then kill the Warlock in the next turn. And then presumably the Spectre's going to go for Slut Summoner. I'll have to hazard a guess. See how my that's not that much of a challenge, Dank. We all know my memory is shit. Having a bad memory is never a bad thing, because if you forget about things in a game, then you're pleasantly surprised again, and then it's like playing the game again. At least that's how I view it. Oh, you went for the sentry. Do surprise me. So hopefully we get a blister on the Warlock. Marvellous. Yeah, let's keep Summoner defending. Now if we kill the Dark Elf Butcher first, we can do yet more cheesy healing. Did he miss? What the actual hell? He's got a chance to hit of 97%, and he misses. Never mind. Alright, so hopefully the blister should take a fair amount of HP off there, and then the sentry should just be able to finish him off. Fingers crossed. Patrick, thank you very much for the horse. It's very kind of you, sir. Your parents just turned off the internet, but they have unlimited internet on phone. What a lovely surprise. How are you doing, Slutbeard? I'm assuming you're talking to me. It's one of the rare occasions where I do have a fair amount of the beard going on. I'm doing very well, thank you very much. Co-op stream, Patrick. Ah, interesting. What did you have in mind? Are you thinking Fire Emblem wise? Excuse me. I completely forgot about my cup of tea. It's gone cold. That's very sad. It was generally being a bit bitchy. That's what parents do. I did once see someone who did YouTube videos, and what he did was they essentially passed round a save file for Fire Emblem. I think I had maybe 3 or 4 people doing it. So one person would do a mission, and then I don't know, they would do whatever they want to do in the mission. Then they would pass the save file on to the next person, who would do the next mission, and so on and so forth. Apparently that was quite amusing. I'm not entirely sure how else you'd be able to do co-op for Fire Emblem. Multiplayer is possible in Disciples too. I think we might have had Nibble and Bizik trying it out this evening. I think they were trying to set up a match. Oh, well, hello. Lovely lady Sylph there. It's about time you managed to get that.
Impossible.
Impossible, apparently. Yeah, Patrick. Clyde was your gift to me. And I appreciate it. Anyway, what's this guy saying? We need to stay close to each other now. There are many dangers to face if we are to reach the grove. Oh, he's off. Ah, they're off as well. Oh, they've turned into neutrals. Does that mean I can attack them now? Right, I see. Very interesting.
You found me.
Let's get
Alright.
this over with.
Right. It's kicking off. No idea what's going to happen. Let's just see. Cloud ahead, you like hentai? Oh, I don't know where you heard that from, Piotr. He did not succeed, possibly because he had the Steam version and I had the GOG version. Ah, that might do it. No, not the thief! She literally lasted 1 turn. God's sake. Can you refund your gift? Well, I'd have to refund the gift, surely, Patrick. And I'm very happy with the gift, so no, I'm not refunding that. Oh Christ! And then we managed to get those 2 leveled up.
I trusted you.
I trusted you not to level those people up, but obviously you didn't listen. Here comes the first reason why I should have left the troops in the city. I did leave troops in the city. Oh yeah, that demon is definitely rubbish. Well, it's not rubbish in comparison to a thief, obviously, but there's nothing for us to worry about. Now what are we supposed to do? Did the mission briefing change? No, find a way to return Millie to the capital.
Galleon, the elves pressure.
Shut up, you. Poor excuse for a narrator.
Oh, Lascelles.
definitely trusted her too much. Reload? No, sir. Don't be crazy. We've got summoned Ents to do our bidding for us. Oh, good lordy, lordy, lordy. Troll, Orc Champion, Goblin Elder. Goblin Elder on the front line, strangely enough. I know they're quite tanky, but still stick them on the back row.
Stand around in this weather.
Oh, go close to them. Well, it's taking its time, so presumably there's something going to happen. Hello? Hello? I think we might have broken disciples. Oh no, he's off. And that took ages. Oh, it's a dark elf.
Why are we so easily forgotten? Why do you still seek to kill us? No, again, another one. This is no coincidence.
Oh god. Does anyone want me to actually read this? I'll try. Willifrim ich Valdien Gallien mis Fluea ein. That sounded German. Flua isem ts Gallien.
What? What are you? You are consorting with them? I was right. You are betraying us. I will not let you destroy our people.
Ooh. I was trying to awaken her mind. I could feel that she was still trapped inside that shell.
Lies. You are but a fraud. You have never spoken to Gallion.
You simply aim to turn us into mindless beasts, and now you are allying yourself with the dwarves. You are nothing more than a twisted little hag. That's a bit harsh. By Gallion, I will rid us of your stench. Time for a fight? What the hell's this now? You will not harm the Oracle. Gah! I repeat, Gah! Nope, and he's had a bit of a hissy fit and he's run off. Christ, it's like EastEnders. Oh, we've got a couple of undead elves going after him. Oh no.
He will do. Let us see his true self. Tear his flesh off.
Wow. Things have just got very dank. I'm not talking about child.
Get away. Get off me. Gah!
Hi. Oh, you turned into a little skeleton. That's nice. Is that it? Oh, no.
I cannot believe this.
How could this happen? How could I provoke this?
Now is not the time for such questions, Milu. We must get you back to the capsule. Let's move on.
It's got Milu to the capsule. God, that was so stressful. I don't remember any of this. Oh no, the dwarves are running off. Oh. Wow. Alright, yeah. Mine, yeah, I understand why you wanted me to get rid of those guys and stick them in the city. He started whistling while whacking something. Hopefully a wolf. Gandalf, no! Everyone knows Gandalf is a defender of faith, or whatever they're called. Okay, let's just take a step back just for a moment. Let's see exactly what's happening here. So we've still got this city in the south, fairly well fortified. Probably do some more money to level it up a bit more. Get the dwarf to the sea. What's the sea? Did you mean D? You want to get the dwarf some of that sweet D? We're gonna try multiplayer at the end of the session. Well, I try multiplayer at the end of the session. I can try. I've only got Rise of the Elves, the Rise of the Elves version on
Don't make an old man stand around
GOG,
in this weather.
or I've got Galleon's Return on Steam. FYI. To get a nice surprise, you mean? Mine, I'm not entirely sure I like your nice surprises. Nor would I describe them as nice. Someone ends up dying. Oh, that looks very simple. I might go for this party. In fact, I might save it actually. Because shit just got real. I think I might just call it Gah. Can I do an exclamation mark? Huzzah. Save that there as Gah. Right. Right, this Goblin Elder's going to get it.
If I must.
Tried to host and everyone tried to join me. it's a I admire the effort going into that. I might get DDoS to honor the sheer volume of people wanting to play Disciples. Right, so the good part is, well, you missed anyway, but thankfully we've got full party healing going on now. So this is not, the Goblin Elders are much less of a threat to us, because look at all that lovely healing. But we should still probably kill him quite quickly. Send him to the capital before all you work for might be lost. In terms of the dwarf and Mildew, you give it a try. Presumably that's why the dwarves moved out the way, so we've got almost unrestricted access to get back to the capital. Multiple face counts is going to be difficult. I could try and host that, Patrick. It would take some doing setting up, but I could give it a try. I've got a fairly decent internet connection at the moment. I did a bit of upgrading before I started streaming. That would suck, Nibble. That sounded a bit wrong. That would suck, Nibble. That would suck, comma, Nibble. I would have thought only four would be able to. Sadly, we do no Skype. Yeah. $68 XP. Probably all from the Goblin Elder, but can't moan too much about that. That giant spider is probably going to be a bit of a problem, actually. Alright, so we're getting Milhew's group back to the capital ASAP. This is fine. Presumably the dwarves won't attack us because this party is being led by a dwarf. One would like to presume so, but you can never be too sure in this game. Could showcase the griffin in this map. If we get enough gold left over, yeah. I mean, the only problem we've had so far is that I think we've only got one... Am I right in thinking we've only got one gold mine, by the looks of things. The undead, it looks like the undead have a gold mine. I'm pointing with my finger because I'm an idiot and I should really be doing this. The undead have a gold mine here, you can see there next to their capital. But we don't seem to have one down here. Oh shit, that's a scary Legion's army. Skype sucks sometimes. That's the understatement of the century, Patrick. The thing is that I've agreed. would take the green screen off. I don't have to have the green screen on. It's all right, Patrick. I don't mind if it'll help me blend in. It's just a white wall behind me there. It's nothing exciting. Don't worry. I don't have an entourage of sluts behind me. My entourage of sluts is in the chat at the moment. Some units can move past other units without fighting like the Imperial Assassin. Well, one would assume that an Imperial Assassin could do such a thing. It'd be a little bit rubbish if they couldn't. Should we get rid of this guy? I don't think it was anything particularly scary from him. We did manage to level up 2 of their units for him, which was sad. So we can get rid of this guy. No blister. Sad. I do find it fairly impressive that we managed to get so far with essentially only 2 damaging units in the party. I mean, that's a fairly good feat, I would say. Could you check the dwarf once he reaches the capital? Yeah, of course I can. Should we just go to Yestercrest house for a weekend and play Harvest Moon together or something? There's a slight logistics matter with that suggestion, Clyde. I figure. That's also true. You don't know me personally. I could be a mass murderer. You never know. I've only got my word to take for it. What kind of father wouldn't drive his son to a random person's house just so they could do a Harvest Moon stream? I mean, that just total lack of commitment right there. Also, why Harvest Moon? Where did that come from? I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the game. It's alright. I'm not entirely sure how you do a co-op of Harvest Moon. Right, there he goes. Popped his clogs. Be nice to get that village, but I really don't think that's going to happen. Right, we need to somehow get this dwarf to there. I could try to drive to you, but I don't know how to vote. Alright. I believe you, Nibble, I really do. I'm quite intrigued. I want to see what's in these Legion armies. So let's get myself a thief to last for one turn, no doubt. Your dad once drove you to a friend you knew via the internet. Wow. But he also lived in the Netherlands. Ah, that's not too bad. Your dad's not going to drive you to the UK for a weekend. It's not just the UK. It's the northeast part of the UK as well. What we got here? A couple of possessed, a sorcerer, and a ranger leader. Oh hi Jamal, I didn't see you slip in there, you crafty little bugger. Yeah. Welcome to the stream. It is a shitload of demons, isn't it? They're here just for you. Not quite Scotland. It's the It's what we call the northeast of England. So it's the best way to describe it is essentially just a little bit south of the border of Scotland. Yeah, this is some fairly scary armies. Well, those two aren't. Actually, that one's not either. It's mainly that one and this one, and that's only because of the incubus and and marble gargoyle combination there. I don't think the dwarf is strong enough to take on this guy. Not with just a centaur lancer on the front. Let us pull the dwarf back. Keep him protected by Slut Summoner, I think.
Liaga?
You can go in the capital for what good it'll do.
Let's get this over with.
Oops, I've not taken the top off this. Ah! It does help. Your girlfriend never noticed you slipping in either. Did you tell her that you were doing it at least? It's always good to warn them beforehand, I find. One thing here, I know Scots... Scots like it when you call them Irish. And vice versa as well, yeah. The Irish love it when you get them mixed up with the Scottish. Oh, don't call them English, no. Not if you value your kneecaps where they are. Definitely don't do that. On the scale of 1 to 10, how much would you rate the difficulty of the Guardians of the Light fight against Grape Golem? I don't remember any of the Guardians of the Light fights being particularly difficult because it's so easy to level up your own troops and get such a powerful army fairly easy. Not needed when they're sleeping. Can you get them to sign some sort of disclaimer before they go to sleep? And I hereby confirm that there is the possibility of this happening while I'm asleep. I mean, I'm a health and safety conscious kind of guy. I mean, you've got to at least have something in writing, just so you've got something to give to the court, if and when that does happen. I looked it up and the multiplayer does not work between Steam and GOG. I'd like to say I'm surprised, but no. Anyway, where are we going next? I'd quite like to see what's in this ruined temple. I'm so desperate to get a decent artifact for Slut Summoner. It'd be really nice to get him some extra armor. So, come to me, my ent. You might be able to just about get away with calling him British, Patrick. English? No, you've got no chance. That would that would be followed by deep regret. Wow, they've gone Goblin Elder crazy. Let me just think about this. So these guys are going to do 2 lots of 40 damage. I think we can actually do this. Patrick, no! Didn't it before and still kicking around. There you go. I would question the fact that he is actually actually Scottish then. Maybe he's just Scottish in username alone. Yeah, they've gone Goblin Elder mental, haven't they? I mean, they really want to showcase this new character. Right, I'm acutely aware of the time, so I'm afraid this might have to be the final battle. So I do apologise. Let's go out on a high and get, hopefully, a good artifact for Slut Summoner from this ruin adventure. So I think we can out-heal the damage that the Goblin Elders are going to do. We can summon in a tree to block the damage from the Orc. And then the rest should just be fairly straightforward, I would have thought. Right, this guy's blistered, that's fine. We're going to get 2 lots of damage from these guys, that's unfortunate. See how it goes. Oh. Ugh, yeah, that's a lot of damage. Tree is dead. It's always sad times. Yeah, Slut Summoner took quite a pounding. And not in a good sense. But I think that's the worst turn over with now. Let's get rid of this Elder. Might have to get him to use a potion at some point. Still taking quite a lot of damage. It's only Slut Summoner though. That's the only one I'm concerned about. Could potentially get rid of some of the Goblin Archers. That would reduce the damage he's taking a fair bit. Maybe not a fair bit, but every little helps, so I might give that a try. I might regret doing this. I should probably have gone for the Goblin and Elder. We'll see. Oh, bollocks. Oh, dear. Tempted to get Summoner to actually defend. Okay. In the Dwarf to the capital, trust me, you could use him to clean the units. Right, okay. I'll take your word for it. How much damage are these guys doing? 55, that's halved. It's reduced by 40% and then halved. Might just get Slut Summoner to keep defending. We're out healing the damage that the Goblin Elder is doing, so it may be best for us to focus in on the Orcs. Yeah, you defend. I think you can survive that damage. Yeah, it's only 13. Orcs won't do enough to kill him. Yeah. It is a paltry amount of damage. Can I test the multiplayer before ending the stream? I'll have a go, yeah, I don't know. Did you try to test it with Bizik? Or did you say you were having internet problems when you were doing so? Yes, of course, you can always use the chat as a chat room. There's no problem, I don't mind. So frustrating seeing the HP of all the Elven units. Yes. And then wondering if they missed a decimal point at some place. I think we're good. It was getting a little bit hairy for a moment there. No, you can use imported leaders in the multiplayer. I didn't, but I do now. So you could bring some there if you. This isn't not going to turn into chat versus the sluts, is it? Because that would be nasty. To be fair, I wouldn't mind doing it with Slutrus or Slut Spectre because they've got 5 leadership, so that's fairly even, I think. Oh, Bizik had Steam. I get you. Jamal, do you wanna try and test it out with Nibble in terms of the multiplayer? I think I just saw levels up for the Wardens, didn't I? Yeah, damage for the main attack goes up by 6, as does the blister damage, so we're talking about a massive increase percentage-wise on the blister damage. I'm talking just under 50%. Which is great. But what do we get? That's the question. 250 gold and Banner of Celerity. That doesn't particularly make me aroused, I'll admit. I do really like the extra chance to hit from the Banner of Battle. So it's... I'm not too sure. Alright, so Jamal, are you testing the multiplayer with... who was testing it before? Was it Nibble? Do you want to test it with Jamal, or Jamal, do you want to test it with mine? And then report back. That would be splendid. If this guy's going to run off, should we keep on going just until we get the dwarf back to the capital? Just so we can say we've done that. Might only take one more turn, so let's see if we can pull this one off. Well, strange enough, Clyde, there are certain things which just don't make me aroused, and a banner which increases initiative is not one of those things. Is one of those things, should I say? I know English. Oh, they stole our runestone mana. That's sad. Oh, we can't cast all of our runestone spells. If you press enter, it allows you to chat. I do know that. Yeah, but never managed to use it because never done a multiplayer game on this. So sadly, never used the chat functionality. Sadly. Please, no one kill Nibble. That would make me very sad. Because I'd be down a viewer. No money joking, Nibble. You're lovely. Do I get aroused by sluts? Yes, of course. I've been thoroughly aroused by all of the slut characters we've had. Let that be on the record. Okay, so the coast is relatively clear. Right, so presumably this guy is not going to attack. Alright, yeah, so he can't attack dwarves. Can't attack his fellow dwarves, so that's good. Let's bring him round. Bring sluts. Oh, can we sneak past with Slut Summoner? Oh, we can. Good. Let's do the same thing with him then.
I am here.
Come on.
I am here.
Sucks that we're not going to be able to get into the capital. We could research Swift, but I don't think that's going to give us enough extra movement points to get him to the capital. We'll see though. You can see we can import the most OP hero. It will obviously be me with Slut Spectre. Maybe Slut Spectre or maybe Sluttress. Sluttress was fairly good by the end with their 5 leadership. And huge amounts of healing. If you could properly launch the game, that'd be great. It's been so long since you played the game, it's no longer launching. A little bit longer. Let's just see if we can get this dwarf to the capital, and then we can consider this stream a true success. Oh, she popped out that rod there for us. That's very nice. Yeah, I really enjoyed the Empire Rod Planter saga that we did. It was a little bit easy by the end, but then again, that's the Empire for you. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed that. It was a very, very good way to ease me into the challenge, as it were. Right, let's see if we can get this guy back. I'm going to research Swift, because I think that might actually give him enough movement points to get back to the capital. And then we can see what the deal is with this story. Bit of growth mana. I'm not too bothered about reserving the mana because there don't seem to be any mana nodes on the map at all, so it's almost as if they don't really want us to use mana a lot in this. Hello?
Come on!
Oh, there you are. Okay. Right, let's see what more soap opera-esque action is going to unfurl. Pangalion, you have safely returned to us, Oracle. We have had become quite worried after seeing the demons block the passage. Where is the intel? We have lost them, trapped by the dead elves. Oracle's going to have a breakdown. I should have known. I tried to speak with one of our fallen sisters. He thought I was trying to betray our people. He tried to attack humility. He was irrational. You have no reason to blame yourself. Who is this dwarf? This is Grizzlespit. He has agreed to help us defeat the clans and may have a plan to get us by them with little confrontation. The dwarves in this area follow Yatahali, who leads our people towards peace at all cost, and with the refusal of battle. Capture Yatahali, offer them a peaceful way out, and they will most likely agree to it. I know the clans have an ancient hideout, a place where they could go when the Ragnarok came. It's not far from here. Yatahali holds the key to open the place, or lock it. And Galleon approves of this alliance. With difficulty, but he knows we must follow his path. The clans are not our true enemy. Our destiny lies in the fortress of Temperance. Temperance, the very fortress where we forged an alliance with the humans, and now we plan to break the alliance at the same location. If this is what Galleon wishes, we shall follow Grizzlespit's plan. The intel remains. We'll have to wait until we deal with the clans. I don't think there's much left, to be perfectly honest. Those guys are buggering off, as we generally suspected. Slow your step. Leaf lick. Oh, he was about to say a leaf licker. Slow your step, leaf lick, elf. Most towns in the area hold documents of value, but they are likely to be written in an ancient Dwarven dialect. A trick used to keep unwanted eyes from knowing what they hold. I can read these documents, but you must allow me to visit the cities where they're being held, and I will inform you of their content. We have yet a new objective. This is the third so far in the mission. Bring Grizzlespit to each city to decode Dwarven documents. Grizzlespit must survive. Christ. This is action-packed for such a small map. Sorry, that was a huge amount of dialogue. I'm sorry if I bored anyone. Horderal plan to rune buggy with the runestone mana, recruit someone. Runestone mana is not really that much of a concern at the moment. The problem is that we need Grove mana to cast all of our spells, and there seems to be no other Grove mana nodes. We might come across something else, but there's nothing obviously there. Anyhow, I think it's probably time to wrap this one up. It's been a fairly productive stream. Done quite a lot of shit's been hitting the fan. Let me just see, did anyone manage to set up a multiplayer? Take the dwarf and I'll see why you want me to showcase the griffin. Let's have a look at him. Ahaha, he's got the more leadership and an adept and centaur lancer. These weren't the units that we gave him. It's a bit strange. Hey, I'll give him the griffin. Why not? Oh well, we've managed to set up a game. Wow. I keep thinking, yeah, I got shot in the chest and bleeding through the shed. But I did. It's just, this is the lengths I'm willing to go to add to the authenticity of the game, Jamal, you see. This is one of those filthy leaf flickers that shot me in the chest. Is it still going a bit mentally? Still not having much success there, or success, should I say? Anyway, I've overstayed my welcome. I figure I normally would stay until about 10:30, but I've gone a little bit over because I wanted to see what happened when we got the dwarf back to the capital. Let's wrap things up here. I'm going to very just quickly double check just to see if there's anyone streaming Disciples. Let's face it, no one will be, but I check on the unlikely event that someone is actually streaming it. Someone's streaming Dark Prophecy. Someone's streaming Guardians of the Light as well. Are they going to be all Russian? The one who's streaming Dark Prophecy is Russian. I'd rather send you to someone who does actually speak English. I don't want to be racist or anything. There's someone called Crash Diet who was hosting. Oh, he's Russian as well. I'm sorry. Oh, why am I surprised? Anyway, sorry about that. I did try to find someone to host. I honestly did. Look at that, community. 3 streams. I know. I was streaming in the retro category tonight, just in case we could get some extra exposure for Disciples. Hopefully, someone might have been browsing the retro category and thinking, oh, this looks like a good game, and get them involved with some Disciples action. Anyway, feel free to stay in the chat if you want to. If you want to use this as a chat to coordinate your multiplayer action, it's absolutely fine. You're more than welcome to. As for me, I need to announce one other thing. I'm going to be busy on Sunday night, so there'll be no stream on Sunday. So if you don't hear anything else from me, either by Twitter or through the channel feed, the next stream will be on Tuesday. We'll be doing some Fire Emblem on Tuesday, and then back to Disciples on Thursday. So if you won't see me on Sunday, but if you don't see me in the meantime, you'll definitely see me on Tuesday. Okay. Anyway, just wanted to get that out there. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll hopefully see you very, very shortly. Like I say, you use the chat if you need to. Not a problem at all. Just to coordinate your efforts, and that's fine. Take care, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye for now.